time's a charm, that's what they say. Right? Right? This week, the most maligned movie in the Alien quadrilogy, Alien Resurrection.
I can feel it. I can hear it moving.
So hey, you ran into these things before.
Yeah,
What did you do?
I died.
So I haven't seen Alien Resurrection since I saw it in theaters back in 1997 with my cousins, and I remember hating it. But watching it again, I have to say it's nowhere near as bad as I thought. I mean, Ripley dunks. That's badass, right? Right? I'd still say, as a whole, doesn't quite fit together, but there are some really great pieces there. So just to recap, this is written by Joss Whedon and likely based on the line of Alien comics called Labyrinth, in which a mad scientist tries to train and control aliens. Now, I'd like to give a problematic acknowledgement to talking about Joss Whedon. Apparently, he's not a great person. Just because I talk about his writing in both positive and negative ways does not mean I endorse anything he does as a human at all in any way. Anyhow, Alien Resurrection follows a ragtag group of mercenaries who, unbeknownst to them, smuggle in a group of hosts for aliens to be born in so these scientists can conduct experiments. Which brings us to the very best part of this movie. Right off the bat, it is basically Firefly, or the precursor to Firefly, one of the greatest and most short-lived shows in existence.
Y'all got on this boat for different reasons, but y'all come to the same place. So now I'm asking more of you than I have before. As sure as I know anything, I know this. I am to misbehave.
If you have not watched Firefly, stop what you're doing, go watch it. It's only 13 episodes, then it got canceled, but then there's a movie, all of it's great. That way you can feel sad like the rest of us who have seen it and wished for more, but alas, it will probably never happen. You have the Doctor, you have River Tam, you have Jane, you have Zoe, you have Captain Mal mixed with Wash. You can tell these are the precursor archetypes to who will eventually become the beloved characters in the Firefly series. So I'm not sure the Firefly tone works for an Alien movie.
Get back to Haven in a few hours'
Oh
time.
yeah, hiding under the shepherd's skirts. That's a manful scheme.
You want to run this ship?
Yes.
Well, you can't.
Which is traditionally horror and or pretty violent action. Firefly's got more of that Buffy vibe, but if this in any way inspired the eventual making of Firefly, it was all worth it.
This is the captain. We have a little problem with our entry sequence, so we may experience some slight turbulence and then explode.
So the second thing I really love about this movie is it has some very cool mix-up of the traditional archetype characters. Now, Joss Whedon has always done this well. So Christopher Vogler, in his book Mythic Structure for Writers, basically re-envisions and reinvigorates the Joseph Campbell's Hero of a Thousand Faces, probably one of the most famous books on storytelling ever, which follows the hero's journey and talks about different archetypes that are essential to most stories. And Christopher Vogler outlines 8 archetypes that are very essential to modern storytelling. 1, you have the hero, and sometimes the hero can mix with some of these other characters, but the hero is the hero. This is the main character of the story. Then you have the mentor. This is the person who trains and gives the hero a fighting chance to overcome the obstacles they must face. Think Glinda from The Wizard of Oz, or Gandalf, or Obi-Wan Kenobi. Then you have the ally, Sam Gamgee, who follows Frodo into Mordor. This is the guy who's the ride or die, who's by the hero's side no matter what. Then you have the herald. This is the person that introduces the hero to the eventual conflict, so they portend the obstacles that they are going to have to face. This is kind of like an R2-D2 or an Oracle from the Matrix. Then you have the trickster. This is like the Cheshire Cat, Dobby from Harry Potter. This is kind of your fun character that is always up to trouble and kind of meddles, usually for comic relief. Then you have the Shapeshifter, which is the Jaime Lannister. It's the person who's, you're never sure whose side they're on. They can flip-flop at any time. Then you have the Threshold Guardian. A lot of times they combine the Threshold Guardian with the mentor character. So this is the person who guards the point of no return. Once the hero steps past this threshold, they are going on an adventure. They are going to have to see this through to the end. And this is the person who kind of guards that line and sends the hero over. Then finally you have the Shadow. This is the villain of the story, usually most effective when it is a mirror of the hero. The way you keep things fresh is by mixing these up, and Joss Whedon does a very good job of doing that. For example, he mixes the mentor and the shapeshifters. So we have Ripley, who's this mentor figure, but she's also genetically inclined to be sympathetic to the aliens. So throughout the movie, you're always kind of worrying, will she switch sides or not? And though she never really does and nothing ever comes of it, it's still kind of interesting to watch. I wish they had taken it a little bit further. It's all got a very mythic structure about it, much like the best entry in the series, Aliens. Only instead of Marines, we have mercenaries. The third thing I loved about Alien Resurrection is that it had a very interesting protagonist. Call actually is an android who is programmed to want to save humanity. So she's got an interesting drive for why she wants to do what she wants to do, an interesting reason for taking the hero's journey. And we see this early with her save the cat moment.
What is wrong with you?
Just a little target practice.
God damn it! Jonah, you son of a bitch!
Come on, man. You didn't feel a thing. I'll take the knife back now.
Her showing compassion for the rest of the crew not only endears herself to the audience, but adds interesting relationship dynamics which come into play later. The fourth thing I really love about Alien is it shows their intelligence and takes aliens to another level. There's a very clever scene where there's 3 aliens captured in a pod.
We do not copy you. Please repeat.
Hello? There's the trap they lay for the mercenaries to try to push them into a area that's filled with eggs. And then there's the operant conditioning with the big red button. They learn that this button is bad, they learn how to use it, and maybe they take it a little too far, but I just think it's a really cool way to kind of up the level of the aliens to make them more scary, because how do you make an alien who you've seen 3 times before more scary? You make it more intelligent. So I thought that was a really good move. And the fifth thing I love about Aliens is the underwater scene. It's fantastic. It's probably one of the best scenes in the entire franchise. So there's a lot of things going on in this scene. You have that blank, vacant stare by Ripley when she sees one of the crew people get abducted, and you're not sure about her loyalties, and it creates this added tension. And then you have aliens that can swim. Holy shit, that's crazy. And then you have them breaking into this chamber only to be surrounded by these eggs. It's just a non-stop, adrenaline-filled, well-crafted, well-shot, well-filmed, well-lit scene all around. So those are the 5 things I loved about Alien Resurrection. Again, upon second viewing, it wasn't anywhere near as bad as I thought it was. There are some not so great things in there that I wish I could forget, but I can't. But, hey, doesn't mean it's devoid of excellent content. So do me a favor, if you haven't watched Firefly, go watch that right now. Why are you still watching this? Go watch it. It's the best. And Serenity, the movie that follows, incredible.